Was it fresh or was it a failure?
Okay, I'm not going to do the Tai Chi thing. I feel like it might be cultural appropriation. I don't want to get in trouble for that. The one that always comes to mind is still from the days when I ran Click to View. We had worked for a very, very, very long time with Visa, the financial payments system people. And they had the most novel and unique approach to content, and I really loved it. So basically they employed this guy called Chris Laboutier, still works there. So they came to us and said, right, what we want to do is create a travel guide for Asia for single women. But I loved it because it wasn't, it was pure, it was proper content. It was like genuinely, it didn't look corporate. It was made to reach the audience. It was very, fast cutting, cool music, kind of very millennial style. We worked with influencers from around the region who had these great followings and were really cool. And, influencers are in their own right great creators, and great creators who in many cases have built up bigger audiences than brands who have a lot more money and they have a strategy department and they have marketers and they have whatever, and you've got some sort of 17-year-old who's done what all them couldn't. So you listen to the influencer, they know what they're talking about, and working together with them, and they brought the distribution as well, created a genuinely watchable travel show that was more sort of brought to you by Visa than about Visa. And because of the way they sort of distributed it, very social, it was a very social-led sort of campaign, I thought that was brilliant and one of the best things I've gotten to work on for sure.
What would you say was the main objective that you wanted to achieve, or what Chris and Visa wanted to achieve?
So they wanted to, because they understood that young women were traveling solo more frequently now, they genuinely wanted to reach out to that audience of travelers they discovered that existed with information about where to go, how to stay safe, and what you could do there. Like they genuinely wanted to sort of say, hey, you're traveling, that's great, let us help you. Oh, and by the way, wherever you go, don't forget your visa. It's safer, it's usable everywhere and whatever. Well, I think that's the most important thing. They really genuinely wanted to create content that audience would want to watch. They didn't just want to, where are they? Let's find them and shove an ad in their face. They were genuinely concerned about the well-being of this audience. And then they were able to sort of smoothly slip that message in, but also build up their reputation as a provider of that sort of information and content. So in future, when you're looking around for things to do and you go, well, I'm going to look at TripAdvisor and I'm going to look at, I don't know, bookings.com or wherever you go, and I might pop along to that Visa channel and just see if there's anything there. That's really the best you can hope for, right? Is if they're looking at you as well as TripAdvisor, you've kind of done your job. You're part of the decision-making process that goes on in the client's mind.
Would you say that Chris and his brief for this Visa campaign was, a sharing and exchange of information?
100%, and I'd say that's really influenced the way I work now. So I work independently now, so my overhead is much lower. I can pick and choose a little bit more what I do. If we want to achieve true, creativity and make beautiful things that people are actually going to care about, it should be a partnership between you and your creator. Your creator knows things you don't, you know things your creator doesn't. You need to put those two brains together and work it out together. And so that's probably the single biggest thing I try and get people to understand is like, you've got to share. It's a messy process coming up with creativity. It's not like you can just, put out a two-line brief and expect a magic bullet to arrive, Marketing's not that easy. If it was, you wouldn't have a job. So, knowing it's not that easy, let's work together to find a solution. They come up to me with problems and they say, look, here's the thing. In Chris's case, it's a case of, we found out that young solo female travelers are this huge growing market for travel. We'd like to get to know them better. We'd like to reach out to them more. So what do you reckon? What should we do? That's better. And then also send me the report this big where it's got all the information I need to know about those travelers and what they're doing and where they're hanging out and what they earn and all that kind of stuff. So there was that detail that is often missing. And the brief wasn't, I need a video, how much is the video? It was, we found this out, we'd like to reach those people. Let's get around a table and work out how to do that. Much more fun, much more creative, much more collaborative. I'm an old white guy. I don't know if young Asian women are going to watch this or not, but we employed a lot of younger Asian women, not in a weird way. They were very talented, group of people that we had working for us. So, we showed it to them, and the people that worked on it were sort of closer to the demographic.
For the Visa campaign and Chris, what were his success metrics? How did he measure his success for this campaign?
But when you've got a brand like Visa, as big and as sophisticated as Visa, I mean, they're one of the most sophisticated marketing organizations in the world. They don't expect any one person to be able to cover everything, right? So the influencers were the largest driver of traffic. So it was kind of more on them to drive the traffic to get it seen. So this was their sort of first foray in this part of the world, as far as I'm aware, into reaching out to that particular audience. So they just wanted to get noticed. It was very much a sort of top of funnel. We're here for you. We want you to engage with us. So we're letting you know we're here. And so that's why they used the influencers. And then the influencers drove absolutely huge traffic, which is great, which is what you want from working with an influencer, as well as being great talent and great creatives. And so they were really happy with the views. They did have a central site that was built on Tumblr. I don't know if it's still up and running, but it was a sort of a destination that wasn't the visa.com corporate site, because who's going to go there, right? That's not what it's for. But I know that the viewing figures for the films themselves were superb. But you know, they were great films, but I think they had a lot to do with the influencers. And I think that's something maybe content marketing forgets about, is that creating the content is one thing, but distribution is another. And I think you've got to join all the pieces up. So that's something where in my current role, I have a bit more oversight, because I try and sort of join all the pieces together as a sort of strategy and say, okay, well, if we're going to make this podcast, then we need a podcast distributor. And that means, you know, so we can get it onto Apple and Spotify. But once it's on Apple and Spotify, we need to tell people it's on Apple and Spotify. So we need the email, and we need the social, and then we might want to create, little sound bites that we put out as little waveforms and stuff like that. So you join the whole piece up.
Would you say that your part in this campaign, was it fresh or was it a failure?
It was fresh. It absolutely worked brilliant. I mean, I know it's a bit of a PR thing to sort of come to you with my successes rather than my failures, but it's the client's success, and that's what matters. And we were really successful on their behalf. And I think that's a testament to Chris's independent spirit to go and work with an independent agency, Click2View, still a going concern, still a fantastic company. But also, I think it's using the right tool for the job. If you're doing a massive worldwide, multimedia campaign with big celebrities, you need a big agency that can organize that and cover that, and has the network that's going to cope with that. But if you're just doing something for the region that's very kind of social and YouTubey, and it needs to be a bit more agile. And I think Click2View were the right tool for that job, not maybe the bigger, scarier agency.
Thank you so much for joining us on The Other F Words. We hope to have another conversation with you again to talk about your failures or other F words. So we're not getting it.
Thank you very, very much for having me. I like this show. It's great to see you guys doing your own content marketing. I'm a believer. And as I said, I've been working with you now for a couple of years. Really enjoy your work. You do beautiful, beautiful productions. You're a really great group of people to work with. So yeah, for those who know what they want, talk to Jeremiah.
Awesome. And boom.